Hey, okay, yo. Yeah, there it is. Nice. All right. We're ready. We're about ready. Get my shares in order. Oh, snap. Another informational. Yes, lunch break. Alex, this is what it is for. It is literally at noon for lunch break. That is exactly why I do this at this time. I hope in the future this podcast can be for many people's lunch break. That's why I do the talking one for lunch break. Occasionally some jams. I might start doing some acoustic stuff from time to time during this time period as I run out of things to say. um Here we go. That's what we want. All right, I'm going to share this a couple of places so that people know what's up with the what's up. The share button really helps me a lot. Getting reach with these streams is a struggle. I could easily get a lot more reach if I just stream to my personal page, but I'm trying to keep the dreadlock content on the dreadlock page, draw as much traffic to my actual artist page as possible, even if it's not as much as, doing it on my personal page. Yeah, so that's that. Let's see. These guys always like to have it. Boop, boop. Posting it. Now just make a little regular guy post. This is gonna be a fun one. I have a lot of really cool stuff. Cleaning it all up and spreading it out all over my room got me really excited about it. I'm excited to show you guys what I got. Talk about what else can be used. All right, that's enough, Sharon. That's enough, Sharon. That's enough, Karen. And here we go. New angle. What up? Yeah. So today I'm not. This is just my bedroom. We don't have a green screen today because I'm going to be going mobile. Yeah, I'm gonna be oh, click click click. Check check check. Is it recording though? Yes. Okay. Got to record my vocals. I didn't do it last week, but that's fine. Um okay. Hello everyone that is tuning in. This is my 6th Portal City podcast. I am in my room with all of my stuff. Today I'm talking about DJ. Am I going to be going ham? Yeah. I mean, in some sense of the word, I'll be going ham. In that I have so many individual pieces of equipment, and I plan on going ham on that information. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll right into it because there's a lot of stuff to cover. But basically, I wanted to break down all of the different things that I have, all the different things that I use, some of which I don't use that much. Everything I have is for live music or producing music. And so I figured some people out there might want to see what's going on under the hood. And if you're considering buying some stuff, I have some suggestions. right off the bat, I'm going to say this a million times. You do not, absolutely do not need this many things. Nobody does. I have them and it's great and that's my life and I love it, but you just don't need that many things. Right off the bat, look at if you're interested in a software before you think about any sort of MIDI controller or anything like that, just look at the specs of your computer, look at the minimum requirements, and if you can, double it and make sure that's what your computer has, because above having any physical thing, what your computer is capable of handling with the software is more important than anything. I have a gaming laptop and it is a powerful beast machine. I mean, I do my live stream with Ableton and Tractor running at the same time, both pushing audio to two separate sources back in to my interface, all of that going live at the same time. And it does it with like less than 20 CPU. I mean, that's what you want. You want your computer to have to do no work so that you can just focus on what you're trying to learn and what you're trying to do. So I'm going to go super, super basic on you guys from the jump, just because I'm just going to assume with these that I don't want to assume that you guys have information already. So I'm going to go from the very, very, very top. So I've got some chords here. Okay. This is an Xlr Cord. The male end right here has it's a 3-pin Xlr cord. There are like 5-pin DMX cords and other things. This is your standard. And look, this is the female side. I think you guys can see that. The lighting is terrible in here. Oh, you know what I have? Boop, a little light. Yeah, that's bright as hell for me. But so that's the female side. That's the male side. You get it. We're humans. You know, we're not that creative. So yeah, this is an XLR. This is going to be the strongest, most consistent audio connection that you can get. Because I mean, it locks in, it's real tight, it's a balanced connection. So, you know, this is what you're going to use if you're looking to avoid feedback. You can string as many of these as you want to together, and for the, you know, I mean, there's a limit, but you can typically string you can have like hundreds of feet of these and still hear the sound at relatively the same time on the other end. Most, CDJs come out XLR. Most, nicer DJ controllers come out XLR. Almost all nicer speakers use XLR. Almost all sound mixers have XLR inputs. This is what microphones use. This is the standard cable. XLR cable. Moving on. This is what is called an RCA connection. I'm not going to get too into the details because I don't know that much, but I will say that this is a I don't remember it, balanced or unbalanced. See, I'm going to stick to what I know, but I know that this is another solid connection, and this is used. This is a lot of controllers have this as their main output. This is a good because you can easily convert this into this, which you can convert anything into anything. The adapter exists for everything out there, by the way. But this is an auxiliary, and this is actually an RCA to auxiliary. So say I wanted to I have a little Bluetooth speaker and I want to plug my DJ mixer in, and I'm at the festival and I want to throw down a 6 set on a little Bluetooth speaker. You use this as your output, and this is one chord. I'm not even going to show you how. This is a 100-foot cord that I got, and it is the most tangled thing you have ever seen. I'm going to show you. You ready? Ready? Look at that. Don't be like that. Don't do that. That's no good. That was honestly Hamilton's fault, but it's okay. But this is an RCA 2 auxiliary cord, which is really nice if you want to go, out of most DJ boards and even most audio mixers will have this as an output and an input that you can use. And converting this to this is super easy. So you can use it in most situations, which is cool. Everybody knows what an auxiliary cord is. The thing that they're trying to get us to not use anymore with our phones for whatever reason. So, okay. Now I'm going to go into the 1/4 inch, which most of you know. 1/4 inch is typically what you see plugged into a guitar. Whenever a guitarist has this bad boy right here plugged into their guitar and plugged into the amp. This is just a regular instrument cable, 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch. Whoop. Same thing, all wrapped up. I need more of these type of deals because I'm a messy cord mess of cords. It's not good. You don't want to see it. But this is an instrument cable, and it is made because instruments will typically have a lower output than, say, an audio mixer, right? So there's actually different types of 1/4 inches, okay? So this 1/4 inch has one little band right here, okay? It's an instrument cable. This is going to be a more sensitive, like a hot signal, okay? And this is a speaker 1/4 inch. So you would use this to connect to speakers, like to loudspeakers. If you were going from a mixer, like with DJ mixers, I've never really had an issue with either or, but like from, say, an audio mixer, which I have one that I didn't pull out that I'm gonna have to pull out to show you guys. Probably next. I hope it's in this room. That would be way easier. Anyway, but this has 2 bands. See? 1, 2 little bands there. Trying to get the focus right. Aha, there it is. 2 little bands. So that's your speaker 1/4 inch cable. A lot of people don't know that, and I say that because I played guitar for a long time and did a lot of things with 1/4 inch cables without knowing that there was a difference. So moving on, I'm going to show you, I have one more cable. Power cables are pretty straightforward. For the most part, each device has one power cable. Like there are some, there are certain power cables that are fairly universal. The one that I have is plugged into one of my devices, but for the most part, it's pretty straightforward when it comes to power. All of your devices are going to come with the power cable that it needs. If you buy something that doesn't come with the power cable, they're trying to get one over on you. So this right here is easily the most important cable of all, because without this, nothing is possible when it comes to computer generated sound. This is your USB MIDI cable, okay? It's got a standard classic USB connection on one side, and this is your MIDI connection on the other side. This one says Native Instruments on it because it's for my tractor controller. Most things that you buy that are MIDI are going to come with this, okay? This is the MIDI USB connection. There's an old school, not as an old school, the classic MIDI connection. I don't actually have a MIDI cable, but most everything MIDI that I have also has that on it. But typically how that works is you plug that into another device, and that gets a little bit confusing. I've only used that whenever I had to use it, and then the device I was plugging that MIDI connection into had one of these, and that converted it. But this basically what this does, it converts audio to Kenley. Yes, I am glad you are here. This is for you. This is a but this basically just converts any audio into a signal that your computer can read, generate, and put out through some other sort of device. Okay, now a little bit of hardware. This is a classic piece of garbage microphone. I bought this in a pack off Amazon. There were 3 of them for $40. The connection, it doesn't like fit all the way, so it's awful. There was some shocky business going on the tip right here. When you get the microphone I'm using here also isn't that great. It doesn't shock me though. So, I'm going to get a Shure SHURE SM57 or 58. It doesn't really matter that much, but those like Shure SHURE, that's the microphone you want when it comes to standard affordable, and by affordable I mean $100 or less. Don't go on Amazon and buy a knockoff 3-pack of $40 3-pack of microphones for $40 because it's not safe. And this this is the clip. You just clip that on, and it fits onto all microphone stands. This microphone stand is pretty straightforward. Okay. And this does not require phantom power, which is going to be relevant in about 2 seconds. This is my clip-on microphone. I clip this clip. It's basically just an all-in-one smaller version of this. And I clip it on to my microphone. I'm not going to go into the different types of microphones and all of that. I feel like, that I'm keeping it in my lane. I just know what I got and why I use it. I'm not too well versed on, too much of the specifics, which is cool. I feel like people think they have to know everything, but you just need to know what you need to know to do what you want. So this is my clip-on microphone. I clip it onto my saxophone or my didgeridoo, and then angle this how I want it. Here, I'll take this. This is okay. So another thing too. This right here is not anything. This is just a piece of foam. Okay, that in there, that is the microphone. Okay, this is the device that reads the stuff. And then, you know what? Real quick, I'm going to show you guys this. This is just the grill. It's just the grill on top of, boom, that's a microphone. Okay? So, fun stuff getting taken apart. All right, so that's all my cables, my microphones. Let's move on to some actual MIDI devices. I think that's next up on the list of importance. So, I'm going to start with input devices. So, this right here, this was a very cheap, like, I'm talking like $30 to $50 MIDI keyboard. Okay, little thing. Look, you see, it's got the USB. It's got the USB MIDI connection. It plugs into the computer, and then my computer knows that when I put, say, a piano sound. Look up to think of the piano while looking at a piano sound into Ableton. When I hit these buttons, these notes, as they are on a piano, play inside of Ableton. And this has, it's got a little octave. Let's see. This is hard. Okay. Octave buttons, other buttons. This is like a pitch bend thing. This is a modulation thing. You can MIDI map I can make any of these buttons do anything I want. So, if I want, say, to hit the C note on this and I want it to change my guitar tone, I can do that. That's the cool thing about MIDI input devices. You can map them really easily inside of most softwares. You can just click the map button. You you click the map button, and you want a button inside of the software to turn it on and off. You click that, and you hit the button, and the computer's like, wow, that's it. And then when you turn off MIDI mode and you hit that button does the thing in the computer. It's wild. I am forever grateful for the people who have dedicated their lives and their time and their brain energy to making all of this stuff work so that I can just be creative with it. This is the land of opportunity. You can start producing solid tracks in less than a few months, whereas, back in the day, that was just not a fact. You really had to be. I mean, you could, just in different ways. We just have so much more access to technology right now. It's insane. It's beautiful. Okay, moving forward. This is something that I no longer use, but it is fantastic. Okay, this is, and you see, I've got little Sharpie things written on it, because once upon a time, I thought that I was going to transfer all of my DJing ability to Ableton, and so what this is just MIDI. Look, all it's got is a little MIDI connection and whatever the hell that is, but that's it. Just a MIDI connection, plugs in, and Ableton's like, all right, bet, we got you. All these faders match up to the Ableton faders. These turn on and off the first 8 tracks. This will turn on the recording arm. You can map these knobs to do whatever the hell you want. I even mapped these buttons to do different things. These didn't do what it normally did. I mapped this to do all kinds of craziness. It was like, I think I had like, my idea was to have 2 sets of 4 decks, essentially. It was wild. It was a wild idea. It didn't really work out. But this is a cool little piece of equipment, a Kai MIDI mix. Yeah, it works well if you want to just make some stuff up. Okay, I'm going to move this. We are pretty close to getting mobile here. I'm going to be picking up the camera and moving around. First time on the Dreadlock podcast where we go mobile. This right here. Can I use that while you can use anything you want while producing, Kenley? You can do. I'm going to be reacting to the chat a good bit because I'm going to be moving kind of fast. So if you have any questions, just hop in there and I'll be paying attention. This right here, you can do whatever you want. You can use this while you're producing if you but here's the most important thing. Don't expect anything to do anything for you. These are just here for you to do intentional things with. So, like, if you want to produce and you, for example, you want to use this to, say, to do like a pitch bend effect and you want to like mess with recording automation live, you can map this and record automation live, and that's cool. I like recording automation live sometimes while I'm producing. And automation, if you don't know, is where you make a parameter or a knob in the software move automatically over time. So like if I hit play and I want the volume to go from down to up on this track, and this is connected to the volume, if I hit record and then I do this, when I go back and play it, the volume on the computer without me touching this will just go up by itself. And that's what I would use this for producing. I could connect this to a bunch of knobs, a bunch of cool effects and stuff, and just turn things, and more of a hands-on approach rather than clicking and everything. If you map these buttons and these knobs to different things, then you can kind of play around with stuff. Yeah, but again, just make sure you have a very intentional purpose, because I I didn't fully, and then I tried to make this into what I wanted, and it was really more stressful than it needed to be. But I learned a lot about what I don't want to do, and that's this. It turns out I really like using Tractor for DJing, and I have my Tractor board over here. The last thing I'm gonna get into is actually my Tractor setup, and I'm gonna do a little demo. I've got a nice little angle with the camera over there, and it's gonna show my whole DJ board, and I'll go through what all the buttons do. That'll probably be like almost half of the podcast. So yeah, but this is called an audio interface. This is what makes the USB MIDI connection the most important thing. And the reason I say that is because if I've ever not had this cable with me, I have been screwed. Because you cannot convert your audio from a computer into anything else or vice versa without this or something like this. Now, an audio interface, all this does is you can put signal in through here, and it goes into the computer, okay? And then it says 1/4 inch outputs. This is what the old MIDI connection looks like, but I'm not going to talk about that. This is the 1/4 inch outputs. So you would take 2 1/4 inch cables and put these into the speakers, and whatever comes into here or into here from your computer. So say I have my instruments, I have a ukulele and a saxophone plugged in here, and I have tracks coming from my computer. All of that is connected to this, and then it all comes out as audio that I've mixed inside the computer. I do like this specific interface a lot. This is called the Audio Box USB 96. It's only $100. That's really why I like it. It's very easy, very simple. So let me see if I can explain. It's got one headphone jack on it, which is this one. This knob controls the headphone jack. This is your main output control. You've got your input 1 and 2 levels. And now this knob is the one you got to watch out for, because it took me a while to realize that this was doing stuff. But if you turn it all the way, let's see if I can show you. Yeah, input and playback knob. If you turn it all the way to inputs, it will only play audio from your inputs. But I typically always have it on playback because that plays it as specifically, it plays all of the audio from my computer. And typically my inputs are running into Ableton and coming out of Ableton, so that actually I don't want to hear that as a raw input. I want to hear that as playback from Ableton. But this is if you're entering into the audio interface world, and this also, if you have a microphone, like a USB microphone that plugs directly into your computer, and you use the computer's internal sound card, you probably maybe have some latency issues. This is the solution. You need a interface that is just decent enough to screw over all of the latency. issues. And latency is when I speak into this microphone and what I say comes out of the speakers or the headphones delayed. It is easily one of the most annoying things ever. How many I/O do I realistically need? Okay. They have a nice solo 2i2 and a 4i4. So I'm glad that you asked about Scarlett, because while I like this, it is now my travel, quick producing type deal. Because as a lot of you know, if you've seen me perform, I am insane, and I have a lot of different instruments and a lot of different inputs. So now we go mobile because this thing is plugged in currently. But the Mac Daddy is that right there. Okay. This is the 18i20 or whatever the Scarlet series, and it is a freaking beast. It's got 8 inputs. Each one of them has an output, but somehow I'm pretty sure I can use them all as inputs. The 8i8. No, I'm gonna look up here. I can show you. I can show you the world. I just got window capture to work, so now I can really be cool. This is definitely not something you need. Especially if you're just getting started, unless you literally have a full band and you want to record that whole band into Ableton at once. Yeah, the 18920. I'm pretty sure mine's the second. Oh, man. Look at that. Don't even look at that anymore. You get the idea. That's the 3rd generation. Shit. Damn it. I only have the 2nd generation. It's fine. But yeah, I'm going to show you guys what I got. So this is, you got your input 1 and 2. This is your volume control for all of the different inputs. So mic 48, that is phantom power. Remember I when I was talking about this microphone, so this microphone doesn't have built-in, it doesn't push signal by itself. It needs what's called phantom power, which almost all interfaces do. The other one has phantom power. This one has phantom power. That's what this mic 48 button does. This that's for 1 through 4, and then this is for 4 through 8. Okay. Now, one thing that annoys me about this just a little bit is I'm pretty sure I can only turn on instrument and pad for the first 2 inputs. Why don't I have those buttons for the whole thing? I'm sure if I read the manual, I would get that information, but I'm not much for reading manuals. I normally find things out the hard way. Don't necessarily be like me, which is part of the theme of this. You don't need to do what I'm doing. Just figure out what works best for you. But this, since getting this, my whole life has changed because I have so many. I'm going to get to my instruments. I have them all laid out behind me. I'm going to show you all of those real quick too. And I want to get behind this thing real quick. All right, we're gonna go on a quick trip. I'm gonna bring the microphone with me around. Let's see, best way to do this. In a perfect world, I would have microphones pointed at all of the places that I'm gonna be going. That's a little good look at my ceiling there. Get my little flashlight moved over here. Okay, so yeah, this is the back. This is the 3 through 8. These are all of the, those are all outputs. 1 and 2 are my main outputs, so I plug 1 and 2 into my speaker if I'm going out to a speaker as well. There's my USB MIDI connection right there. The optical out and in is some sort of crazy thing that I don't know about. There's some more stuff that I don't really know about. So that's that. That's the Mac Daddy interface for sure. Definitely top coolest things that I have. Moving on. Moving around. Realistically, what would be a good start? So it depends on what is your purpose? Do you have, are you gonna need more than 2 inputs at once for whatever it is you're gonna be doing? And we're upside down. Let's get rec right side up. Are you gonna need more than 2 inputs at any point? Do you play any instruments? If you plan on playing your DJ controller and one instrument at the same time, you are going to want 4 instead of 2. I would just get 4 if it's even a question. If you're trying to minimize costs at all costs, then just get the 2. You only need 2 inputs. But if you're considering doing anything more than just DJing, I would go ahead and get 4 if you can. They're all going to be the same quality, Focusrite wise. The Scarlett series they're all a beast. This one is just it doesn't do anything more than the 1 or the 2 or the 4 or whatever. It just has more inputs, and it's got this super cool little jumpy mixer on it. Yeah. So I mean, if it's depends on how you feel about the $50. If you're gonna use 4 inputs or 3 inputs at any point, like if you are gonna want to do DJing plus a microphone, then you'll want that. But most DJ boards will have a microphone input as well. So I mean, it's really up to you. Just think about what you're gonna need. Having 4 inputs, if the extra $50 isn't going to hurt you, is, that's the safest bet, because you just never know. You never know. What if you want to have 2 DJs mixing at the same time and you want to record it all into Ableton or something crazy? Who knows? Like, go ahead and get the most that you can. That's definitely been my motto. As you can see, I get as big and as many things as I possibly can, and then I figure out how I'm going to use them. Make practical uses out of them. Okay, I'm all wrapped up here. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is a nice little consistent group of people that we got in here today. I like seeing people paying attention. It makes me feel like what I'm doing has purpose. And I want to have purpose, and you guys give me that, so thank you for listening. Oh my goodness, I am the cord tangler. I'm really not even that tangled, but I'm like foreseeing the next time I stand up, it just would not be good. You see this, by the way, if you are a rapper or a singer or anything, and you do this right here, this is called cupping the mic. Don't do this, okay? Do you hear how it doesn't sound as good or as clear as when I take my hand and put it in a reasonable position? Okay, this is how you hold a microphone. How your hand looks doesn't matter. I think about that when I'm singing. I feel weird, and then I'm like, don't worry about that. As long as I keep my mic at a decent distance from my mouth and in front of me, this is what you want. Okay, don't do this. You don't look any cooler going like this. You just sound worse. And this is why a lot of people don't like rap shows, because you can't hear what the person is saying because they just want to look like this. Sorry, not talking trash. There's a lot of amazing rappers out there. I'm just saying, don't be this guy. Okay, you're not cooler if you're this guy. Promise. So moving on, back to equipment. Another Mac Daddy device that I have. I don't even deserve this one because I didn't buy it, nor was it given to me. Okay, crazy story. I ordered. Oh, did you guys see that? Nope, probably not. It's fine. I knocked over a lamp, but it's not broken. It's all good. It deserves to be there. So I ordered the intro version of Ableton 10, which, if you know, Ableton 10 has an intro, a standard, and Ableton has an intro, a standard, and a suite version. And the intro is green. And I was buying it as a gift, and it's $100. I was buying it as a gift, so I bought it in the box. So I was expecting a little green box with a disc or a code in it that I could wrap up, okay? And this big box that said includes Ableton 10 intro came, and I was like, this is a bigger box. It had a green sticker on it. So somebody in the warehouse of this place made a serious mistake because I opened it up, okay? And I was like, wait, let me spin this around. I opened it up and I was like, oh, it comes with a little controller. That's kind of cool. And I was looking at it, and I was like, hey, I mean, this kind of looks nicer than anything I have. And looked it up, and it's the frickin' Ableton Push 2, which is Ableton's flagship controller. It's like $800. And they just accidentally sent it to me. I never heard anything from this company or warehouse ever, and it is now mine and one of the coolest things that I have. You can see that's my voice right there. All of this is the coolest freaking thing. So that's all of my Ableton tracks. You know, they show up. I can control the individual devices, effects. I can pull this up. You know, that's session mode. I can do all kinds of crazy stuff with this. If you have the cash for it, you know, I would definitely get a Push if you are using Ableton. Probably, I don't know about getting the Push if you're just getting Ableton for the first time, but if you have Ableton Suite and you like kind of know what you're doing, even it doesn't even matter. No matter what level you're at, this thing will make Ableton easier. It every single button on here is perfectly mapped to do things in Ableton. It is this is I love this thing, and I love that I got it for no reason. Yeah. So that's that. Moving down. Part of the cool things about that is this. This right here, this is just called an expression pedal. It would typically be plugged into a MIDI keyboard. And you know, it's like a sustain pedal for a keyboard, but it plugs in via 1/4 inch into, there's a port on the back side of this Push. And when I click it, it'll automatically trigger a loop of a certain size. Super cool. This pedal right here, that is my new MIDI expression pedal. Super, super cool thing. See how it moves like that? You know, I put my foot on it, wiggle it up and down, and I use it for wah effects, but I also found out that I can map it to anything I want in Ableton, so I have more effects than just the wah on my ukulele. And I'm going to experiment with like moving effects on my saxophone. So like while I blow the saxophone, I can move this and create really cool sounds and stuff. Yeah, use of your feet. That's something that guitarists have been doing for a really, really long time, and I want to tap into that with in the digital era. Those are all my cases, and for my instruments, that is a Turbo Sound IQ15. It's a 15-inch loudspeaker. It's a beast. I have 2 of those and 2 18-inch subs. I have been using those for a while. If you want to throw your own shows, you know, you can, I mean, it depends on what level you're doing, but, you know, typically 2 15-inch tops and then like 1 18-inch sub. That would be the minimum of what I would recommend to throw a solid event in most any room, you know, small room. 2 18-inch subs, but that's just me, you know, I'm extra. I am extra. Okay, so moving on down, moving on up. Wow, it's already been 45 minutes. That's crazy, because I haven't even gotten to this bad boy over here, but we're not there yet. We're going to Instrument Town. Look, that's what my streaming stuff looks like. That's all my stuff. See, I got my chats over there and all that. Oh, I almost forgot. Whoops. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Thank you for your patience. This is if I had like 15 cameras, I would have just set them up all over the place and been Mr. Switch it around, but that's not me. I'm carrying my camera around the room guy. So this is a sub pack, which is one of the coolest. Everything I say is the coolest thing I have. I just can't help it because I really do like having all of this stuff. But you don't need it. You just need really, the basics that you need are an interface to really get you going if you want to have inputs. To produce, you don't even need an interface. You just need headphones. Oh, I'm wearing some pretty nice headphones. I should show you guys that too. This is Sub Pack. It's a backpack that you put on and it creates sub frequencies. So like say you're sitting in a car that has subwoofers in the trunk and everything vibrates. This recreates that feeling on you no matter what situation you're in. It works best for me with my headphones. I use them for my mixing and mastering process. Sometimes while I'm producing, you don't need it all the time. It's more for fun. And then when I'm mixing and mastering, it's really useful. So, it's got little inputs. You can't see that well. But I only have two hands, so but yeah, you plug in, you plug an auxiliary cord into it, you plug headphones into it, you turn up the intensity, you turn it on, and that is pretty much it. It's very simple. It also has Bluetooth, which is super cool. So sub pack. The backpack has been sold out for forever, and they have no intention on telling you if they're gonna make any more. I wouldn't be surprised if some people complained about the comfortability of it. Comfortability is a word, I'm pretty sure. Some people have given me crap for it, but I like to use it. The amount of comfortableness that you have, comfortability level, it's a thing. But I wouldn't be shocked that's why they didn't make any more of these because they have a seat back version that you put onto a chair. But I like the idea of being able to go on a walk and, feel like I'm at a show. I'm gonna have to turn off the light for this one. Whoa! I forgot. It goes up in brightness when you push the button. I am blind. Holy crap. So this is my GoPro Hero 8. Shout out to my family for a lot of this stuff, by the way. They have supported me in more ways than I could ever have even asked for, and helped me create my vision of creating things on the highest quality. So thank you to you guys. I know you're listening to this. I love you. So this is my GoPro Hero 8. It is the newest GoPro. It's super sweet. I got the media mods for it. That little thing up there in the top left is a microphone, a unidirectional, so I can have it. It's got one on the front and on the back. It's got HDMI ports on the media mod. I was gonna use it for live streaming, but I need a capture card, and that's annoying. I'm probably not. I don't know if I'm even gonna worry about that. I might just use the GoPro for video stuff because at the point of getting a capture card, I could just get decent webcams and just have more angles that way because my phone works extremely well. You can only stream in 1080p, and my phone has that. So, why buy a bridge for me to make this into a webcam when I could just as easily get, like 2 webcams for the price of a decent capture card? And these aren't made to be used as webcams. So people have said that you can run into problems. They're not made to be run for that long and all that. But thing on top, that's the light mod. It's bright as hell. I'm not going to turn it on. I had it on before. You saw it. It's the brightest thing out here. That thing hanging on my bed, that's my Camelback. I'm about to go hit that up right now. I need that. Whew. Whoa, it's bright over here. It's way bright. Did I just hit something and make it brighter? I did. Is this brighter? What happened? How did I do that? Whoa. Oh, I can flip the what? What? Learn something new all the time. Oh, what? I don't know what's going on with this phone app. Anyway, these are my instruments. The camera won't reach too far, so keep it simple. Over here on the very right, we have a didgeridoo. Actually, I'm going to put on my microphone stand so that I can pick up the instrument. That's what I'm going to do. Do, 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 do. Oh, no. Okay, moving on. These are picks. These are what I use when I'm strumming my ukulele, normally with doing solo stuff. You strum each individual one, you strum. These are guitar picks, but they're picks. I use them for whatever. This is my didgeridoo. Super cool. This is the mouthpiece. That's like this is wax that I like melted on here, and I put my mouth in there and vibrate my lips like a trumpet or a trombone, like and it creates the tone from this. And this one in particular, if you're thinking about playing the didgeridoo and you're like, but how do I play more than one note? Look at this. This is a freaking trombone didgeridoo. So I can just slide this thing and it'll be at a different tone. Like, because didgeridoos are typically one length and they have one tone. And you can't just you can, but you can only really go up or down a half step, maybe, if you're a super pro. But this allows me to have a lot more tones, which is great. This is my straight up electric ukulele. There's the inputs. It has auxiliary and headphone inputs, so I can plug my headphones into this and just practice, which is really, really cool. And the thing on top here, this is a tuner. Tells me the tune of my notes. I can tune my strings with that, which is cool. This is my acoustic electric. I use it for acoustic stuff, but it also has a plug-in if I want to record or go live or something like that, because I don't have nice instrument microphones to do with that. So that's that one. This right here is my Melodica. It's a piano that you blow into, so I blow into this, and blowing into this while simultaneously, if you blow into it while not pushing anything, nothing happens. But this triggers, when I push a button, it'll play that note, and it's a melodica. It's played like a piano, but it's got its own little tone. This is my saxophone. I love this thing. Don't want to mess it up at all. But the simple thing I wanted to explain is, look, these are all my buttons. And how the saxophone works is you blow into this right here. It's a reeded instrument. Let me see if I can turn this around. It's a reeded instrument. So you put your mouth around the mouthpiece, and when you blow on it, You have to have you have to have your mouth a certain way and all that, but you blow on it and it vibrates it vibrates the wood, and the vibration gets sent down the tube. And the more buttons you have pushed, the more closed the tube is, so the deeper the tone is. And all of the buttons are in specific places so that when you let go of certain buttons, different amounts of air are let out of different places, so a different note is coming out. And the more open it is, the higher the note is. The more closed it is, the lower the note is. That is how a saxophone works. Very cool. So that's my acoustic guitar. I have new strings for it because I'm supposed to put new strings on it when I break a string. Still haven't done it. Don't play it as much as I would like to, but I will. I still have it. My grandfather gave me this a long, long time ago. The thing at the top is a capo. Capo. So I'll put this on a fret and it'll play. It covers up all of the notes on that fret so that the guitar is basically in a higher octave. That's an electric guitar. This really actually belongs to Xlr from Portal City, but I'm just holding on to it for right now. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. It's got a tone and a volume function, different little tone things with that little knob. That thing right there. I'm not too well versed on electric guitar. Pfeiffer can tell you all about that stuff. And that is an old bass. I want to say that came from my great grandfather's place. I know my grandfather had it. I don't know. It's here at the family house now. But it's just a simple bass, 4-string bass. It's the top 4 strings of a guitar, but in a lower octave because they've got thicker strings. And that is a set of bongos, which I literally never, ever use for some reason. But I have them and I will use them. I had the saxophone for 2 years before I ever used it. And that's also part of me, understanding that my ADHD and my ability to focus, and I just surround myself with the opportunity to learn things, and eventually it comes along. So, yeah. All right, that's enough carrying this thing around. Now I'm going to switch over to the DJ board and get cracking. Kenley, you want to see the bongos? I'll show you. Yeah, they were like $30 at a music store. I used to walk into music stores sometimes on paycheck day and just buy stuff. That's how the didgeridoo first came into my life, because I was like, man, doesn't that look like something I would use at some point? Let me get over here to my station so I can still speak into the microphone. While you guys look at my hands. Okay, this looks pretty good. So, I'm going to do a quick overview. At some point, I'm going to do something like this where I also have Tractor. I I also have Tractor pulled up on my computer. Maybe next week. I think next week I'm gonna actually do some in-depth software related stuff. Talk about the different, pull up the different DJ softwares that exist. A couple of the different like Ableton and a couple of the plugins that I use, and some recommendations. So yeah, this week is mostly all about hardware. So what I'm about to show you here is the universal aspects of DJ controllers, and then a little bit about what this controller specifically does. So this is called the Tractor S5. I've said the coolest thing I have a lot of times, but no matter what, this will probably always be my favorite because it is the intro to everything that I did with DJing and all of that. It's very cool. So how this works is each one of these is a channel. So traditionally with DJing, you had an individual vinyl deck for each channel. But this does it all digitally. So if I hit this button, this is deck A, and then if I hit it, it turns white, and that's deck C. This is B. If I hit this, it turns into deck D, okay? So this is the mixer portion, okay? This is a crossfader that, the more I move it this way, the more you'll hear these tracks versus these tracks if I move it this way. I keep this disabled because I do all of my mixing between up and down of all four of these. I don't do this very much. People use this with scratching. This doesn't have turntables on it. That's one of the things about this that's different than most DJ boards. What would be the turntables is actually this touchpad right here. I don't really use that very much. Sometimes I'll use it and jump through a track. Not going to get into too much into the functionalities of this specific controller, but it's very cool. It runs with Tractor, the DJ software. So this is these are volume faders. I'm going to just show you one channel. This is a volume fader right here. This is my cue button. So if I turn this on and off, it will allow me to hear what is playing on this channel, even if this is turned down, okay? And then it'll come through my headphones, which there's a port on the bottom of this. Down that way. Down that way. There's a port down here where I plug my headphones in. This is my low pass, high pass filter knob right here. Okay. Down, if I turn this on and move it this way, it'll filter out all the high frequencies of the sound. And if I do it this way, it'll filter out the low frequency of the sound, which is great for transitions and that type of stuff. This is my low, my mid, and my high frequency equalizer knobs. These are set at certain frequencies to cut them off pretty hard. So this will cut off or boost my lows, cut off or boost my mids, cut off and boost my highs. And that's the same for all four decks. And that's pretty universal for every DJ controller that you get. Whether you have 2 decks or 4 decks or whatever, you're typically going to have a volume fader, a filter knob, your 3-band EQ. This is my main output, booth output, which are just different outputs. Main output is for Xlr and for RCA. The booth is for my 1/4 inch. And that's so if I had my main outputs plugged into the speakers going to the crowd, the booth will be plugged into the speakers on the stage. And I can have volume control right here. This is my tempo knob. I don't really use that because I control my tempo over here, but I'm not going to get too into that. My cue mix, so how much of the music that's playing live is coming through my headphones versus just when I hit this cue button, what's actually being played. So that's that. Oh, somebody's calling me. I'm going to call him back. So this up here, I've got these are my gain. Okay, gain. I'm not gonna get too into what gain and difference between gain and volume. I don't know it that well, honestly. But gain, you typically turning up gain too much will cause clipping and stuff. And while the volume is just from, they both turn up the volume, but the gain you want to kind of set at a certain point, and that'll be your max volume for whenever you're controlling this here. So typically, I have those all around the same place, and then these buttons right here, they control my effects. So if I turn on the arrow pointing to the left, then this set of knobs over here are the effects that will be triggered for this track. And I have 3 effects over here with a dry wet knob here, and I have 3 effects over here with the dry wet knob here. Okay? And so I can have 3 effects, or I can have up to 6 effects on any track, but I can have, say, effects from this side on this track, while effects from this side are on this track, and then vice versa and all that. So that's how I control my effects with the Tractor. Let me load up a song to make this easier to understand. That's Backseat Freestyle by Kendrick Lamar. These are my cue points. Okay, they're called hot cues. So each one of these buttons goes to a different part of the song. So that if I want to, say, if I'm playing electronic music and I want to have a song go straight into the second drop, that's, I would have hot cues set up ahead of time to skip throughout the song to certain points. The green one triggers a loop, so it'll automatically loop a section that I've picked, and I can expand the loop with this knob. This is my loop knob. I can expand the length of my loop, and I can move the loop up and down the song like this. This is my browse knob, so if I click this, I can flip through the tracks in my library. I can go back to the track collection, playlists, whatever I need. It's basically standalone, but has to have a computer plugged in for it to actually work. Yeah, this thing right here is the sync button. People have their opinions about it. What it does is it makes it so that if I hit sync over here and the BPM is set at 77, so that's how I change my BPM with this, by the way. I hit this button right here, and then I use this knob. A lot of controllers will have like a slide up and down tempo slider, but this one has a knob. And I hit shift to go up by 1 whole, or I can just go up by 0.01 at a time. Which is, it's a little bit of an extra step, I feel like, than the slider, but it gives me more, because this thing clicks with each turn, so it gives me a real exact location for what I'm doing, which is nice. But so if I'm set at 77, which is the original BPM of this track, and I load up a track over here of any sort, and then it says 57 up there, and you can't really see that. But then I click sync over here, it makes that 77 also. So when I hit play, they'll be playing at the same time. And that's entirely dependent on the beat grids, which are in here. I feel like I'm getting more into the functionalities of Tractor, which is what I'm going to do next week. Yeah, and then this right here is, like I said, it was like like the turntable, but it just moves up and down the track. You can scratch with it. I don't at all. It's not that, it's not that nice. It works for certain situations. It's the real reason why I like this is all of the fail-safe functionalities. I'm very good at, oops, I didn't have the cue in the right place. I can just, go where I need to go, or, or hit a cue button or get my tempo right and all of that. It's good at recovering and keeping a mix smooth, even if you weren't 100% prepared. You don't have to be so exact with your preparation, and allows the freestyle aspect for me to be a little smoother. So, yeah, that's pretty much my DJ controller. I could probably do a whole podcast on Tractor, which I believe I will do at some point. But yeah, it's 1:10. I'm feeling like I have talked a lot. um, but I feel good. There were a good amount of people in here today, which is nice. I know at least a couple people let you borrow those bongos, Kenley. That's the thing, is that I don't let go of these things. Whenever we can hang out, I'll let you use them. But I like to hold on to my things. And I say I don't ever use them, but I literally have actually used them in the last 3 days. So that's what happens. And now that you've asked for them, I'm probably going to use them more. But yeah. So I think that's for the most part all of my stuff. I have a lot of stuff. You don't really need as much stuff as I have to succeed. Just do some research on, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. But thank you all for tuning in. That was a lot of fun. So I hope there was some good information in there for some people. And I will be back Thursday. I'm doing Thursday. My stream is for Music Groove Entertainment. So that's going to be cool. It's like a Life in Digital online music festival that I'm a part of. So, yeah. So everybody have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.